Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, and this is a special episode of Cool and Unique Camp Locations where all of the locations are in the Mire. That's right, we're going back taking a look at some of the really cool ones. Some of them might not be the best locations, but they definitely stood out for different reasons. This one, of course, a giant treehouse is how we have to kick it off because the Mire has quite a few tree houses. But this is by far the largest that you can take advantage of. Now, when I placed my camp down here long ago, the previous board that I walked across, that's the one I put my camp on when I placed it down. Mostly because I was trying my best to take advantage of both the lower part of the camp and the higher part. As for the junk and stuff here, there's not really a whole lot going on. You got some beer bottles. You've got a hunting rifle, some Rataway, I think, a little bit of ammo, maybe a couple containers that you can search. Not a whole lot. Generally, if you're camping here, you're probably camping here because it's an awesome treehouse, or maybe you're farming one of the random spawns in the area. And that plank is super cool. But as for its actual location, it is going to put you way up in the top corner of the map, way far away from all random passerbys. Next up, we've got one of my favorite locations that I've definitely camped at before. And at first glance, it might not seem like much, but this spot has so much potential. Because you are completely surrounded by water. Now, how do you do this? There is a single boat floating out here, and if you place your camp on top of the boat, you're set. Build you a foundation down under the water with some stairs coming up, and then your entire camp's going to be second floor and above. Awesome location. I can't say enough about it. I love that spot. I know it's not really close to any vendors, but who cares? You get a lot of creative freedom there. Next up, we've got by far one of the most popular Meyer Camp locations, if not one of the most popular Cool and Unique Camp locations in the game. People love this spot, and for good reason. It is really freaking cool. But you are going to have serious competition here. Because inside there is a ton of junk, bunch of containers. You even get a cap stash. There's a ton packed into this little area. And then you can build your camp up on top of this, take advantage of the lower area as best you can. It is a solid spot. But like I said, you are going to have serious competition when placing your camp down. I'm not joking when I say this is one of the most popular spots. So, if you're willing to deal with your camp possibly not being placed at every other server or so, every few servers, it's definitely worth checking out. As for its location, it does have you somewhat close to some random spawns, which is kind of cool. But you are a little ways away from vendors. Moving on. This is yet another fairly popular spot. And yet again, it is for good reason. Because there is a dog here that you can basically kidnap as your pet if you camp here. It is the only friendly dog currently that you can have at your camp. Hopefully that will change down the road and we can have pets at our camp. But as for right now, well, I guess you can have pets. They're just the Deathclaw variety. But this pet is kind of better because if it dies, it'll respawn later. No loss. It also doesn't take up any camp budget to have it wandering around your camp. Additionally, if you do have a Deathclaw as a pet, you could have a dog and a Deathclaw as a pet. Pretty cool. Now let's move further down into the Mire, where we've got a collection of houses that have definitely seen better days. Now, I just want to say, I'm not real big on camping in destroyed houses. It doesn't fit my build style a whole lot. But I definitely do see the potential here. If you're building, say, a little small town, you can incorporate some of the partially destroyed buildings into your town, making your little settlement look that much bigger and better. And as for the Mire, this is about the best you're gonna do for kidnapping multiple structures to build a little small town. You do get a hot tub, so it is getting some points there. Now, this house is definitely better off than the one we were just in. And I did forget to mention that last house, I know I showed it, has ginseng root. And off the top of my head, I can't think of where else I can go to get ginseng root without having to go look it up. So I know there's ginseng root in the other building. There's even more in the next building we're going to go to. But I do want to warn you that this next little building, I've seen enemies spawn in here. I've seen super mutants spawn here. I want to say I've seen, Mr. Gutsy spawn here. Don't take my word on that one. But I know I've seen super mutants. Now, as for its location, it is going to keep you close to Camp Venture, in case you're someone that's constantly heading over there to turn in technical data. And now on to our final location for the Meijer. And it's yet another spot that I have camped at in the past, where we've got this lovely trailer ripped in half. And this spot also seems to have a random spawn in it now. I could have swore there wasn't a random spawn here, but somehow there is a random spawn where the phosphorus deposit's at. Is really weird, because I showed up here to record at one point, and there were a bunch of mannequins standing around. What are you doing here? But as for the location, it is super cool. When I tried to build it up, I tried to make it so the entrance into the camp was the gap in the trailer where it was ripped open. Super cool spot. Its location will keep you really far down in the mire. So far down that it's kind of a toss-up between whether you're actually in the mire or in the start of Cranberry Bog, because you are right there on the border. But that's going to wrap this one up. I'm not going to be back next week, because I'm going to take next week off for the holidays. I'd like to think that I've earned it, but I'll see you the week after that. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.